So imagine you're at a football game and you need to take a piss. You don't want to miss the action, right? So you go to the bathroom and you look at the window and you get a perfect view of the field. Well, it turns out that what you might get at Missouri State. On Wednesday, FIU took on Missouri State, but Missouri State ended up winning, and the game went viral for one reason. And that was strictly because there's a bathroom at Missouri State Stadium where you can just look outside and you get a perfect view of the stadium. So while you're taking a piss, you won't miss any of the action. I love college football, man. Missouri State only blows up because of their bathrooms. It's the most Missouri State thing ever. You know, Springfield is a shithole itself, so it only fits that the bathroom makes Missouri State relevant. That beats me to it. Let's get into this week. Vanderbilt took on Texas, number 9th ranked team in the country. And they kind of shat the bed for the first half of the game. They did not show up until the final 15 minutes. Diego being too turnt didn't happen. Just beats me to it how Missouri lost this team. Texas was up 24-10 at half. And everyone just thought, okay, yeah, this game's going to be completely over. Nothing was going to happen with it. This game's going to be a blowout. Texas is just going to come out steamroll. And that's not really what happened. Texas took their step off the gas, and Vanderbilt came back. Diego Pavia did what he was supposed to do. His Heisman came out. I mean, he's not going to win Heisman. He's not a good quarterback. But he did look like a damn good quarterback. They got 34-31. They got within 3 points within the last 50 seconds. Did an onside kick and were inches away from recovering it. They had 3 guys on top of the pile chasing after the ball before the ball finally rolled out of bounds. Looked like a Vanderbilt O-lineman tipped it and the ball went out of bounds. Ironic after what we saw last week, but it's fine with me. But that's just another SEC team that is not going to be making the playoffs. Texas is now, everyone's saying Texas is back again after beating a overrated Vanderbilt team. Even the announcer Sean McDermott was saying how Vanderbilt got lucky to beat Missouri last week, which is true. But yeah, Vanderbilt not too turned anymore. Texas came in, they took care of business, 34-31. Good win by the Longhorns, dominant win. They're now 7-2 in the SEC. 4-1 in SEC play. They can still make the title game. They have to win out. Ole Miss has to lose one, but they still have to. They have Texas A&M at home, which that's possible. Black Friday, that is possible. They have to go to Georgia, which they won't win. If they do win, though, it does look like they're in favor that they could go to Atlanta. They got Arkansas, which is a win, but as of right now, 9-3 and 4 is on the table for the Longhorns. And now for Vanderbilt, 7-2, they're still riding high. They're still 15th in the country. They're at Auburn this week, Kentucky, and then at Tennessee. We're looking at a 9-3 year for Clark Lee and Diego Pavia and company. Fantastic year. Fantastic year for Vanderbilt. Year's not over. They still have a lot to play for. Maybe a Citrus Bowl. We don't know. Yeah, just crazy. They could have won that game. That would have been awesome, though. I wanted Vanderbilt to win. No one likes Texas. They could have recovered that onside kick. Who knows what would have happened if Diego would have had a true Heisman moment, go down the field and win that game. Now let's talk about Auburn. A 4-4 team going into this game, facing on a 2-5 Kentucky team. Night game down at Jordan-Hare. You should win that. You're playing the worst team in the SEC. A team that has nothing going for them all year. You should win that game. You're at home. You're not starting Jackson Arnold. You're starting your backup. Fresh people, fresh legs. You think you can win. They only put up a field goal. Kentucky wins 10-3. Hugh Freeze is fired. Beats me too with that. Mark Stoops is still the coach at Kentucky as well. It's 2025. Mark Stoops is the coach, and Hugh Freeze just got fired. 10-3 final score. This is the SEC. This is not the Big Ten West. This is the SEC, and we're only scoring 13 points in a game. That's wild to me. Jackson Arnold, if he would have played more in this game, they could have won. Ashton Daniels, he 13 for 28, 108 passing yards, 1 interception. I still think Arnold would have been the better pick there. It's just crazy to me. Both teams put up 240 yards, but only 13 points. True Big Ten energy here. That's unbelievable. Then CJ Bailey and company. A night game in Raleigh, they upset Georgia Tech, which, a night game in Raleigh, that has upset written all over it. NC State's been having a terrible year, it seems like. 4-4 heading into this game, absolutely nowhere. Very young team. Very young. They're going to be incredible in a few years, but they had nothing going for them right now. They're playing this red-hot Georgia Tech team that definitely looks like a playoff team, and they dominated 60 minutes with them. At no point was Georgia Tech have a good lead in this game. They might have been winning by a touchdown at one point or a field goal, if that. I did not watch the game, so I fully don't know. But they completely dominated. They kicked Georgia Tech's ass in this game. It is just unbelievable to see this. Haynes King, he had a great game. 25 for 35, 2 touchdowns and an interception, throwing 400 yards. You show me the stat line, he still rushed for 103. You show me the stat line, you think Georgia Tech wins, but, it was a high-scoring game. NC State's defense didn't do anything, but their offense was incredible. Putting up 48 points against Georgia Tech. Their defense only gave them 36. So against this powerful offense, that's incredible for NC State. 5-4 in the ACC now. Georgia Tech's 8-1. Will Georgia Tech be the representative of the ACC? ACC is only going to go one team in, really, between Georgia Tech and Virginia now. Which UVA, they came out of nowhere. That's a good story for them. I'm happy for Virginia. I think Georgia Tech still gets the bid. I don't think Virginia would win ACC title game. I think it's those two definitely going to be in the title game, but I got to give it to Georgia Tech still. Just that qualifying bid. They're going to lose, let's say they play, Ole Miss or Oregon first round. They're going to get killed, but they're still going to be in there. They're going to win the ACC. Georgia Tech still is going to be riding high this year. You know it. And then a huge playoff indicator this weekend that really no one had an eye out on was Navy at North Texas. Navy was undefeated heading into this game, and North Texas only 7-1. But North Texas completely dominated this game, winning it 31-17. Completely shut down Navy. Drew Menskeeter threw 234 yards, went 19 for 24. Completely had a great game. They beat Navy. Now, is North Texas still in the conversation for a playoff? I don't think so. I think this opens up the gateway to give Memphis that bid. Last week we talked about Navy being a playoff team, and their schedule out is all the top teams in the American. That's going to be very hard for them. They're still a damn good team. North Texas, they can realistically get in. Let's say chaos happens in the American. Let's say Memphis loses a few more games. South Florida loses a game. North Texas, they're going to be that final seed. They're going to do the 12 seed in, the group of 5 representative. Navy still could. Everyone else in front of them loses out. Navy's still 7-1. That Army-Navy game won't count at the end of the season for a playoff. They have to be 10-1, really, to get that bid. I don't even know if the committee would give it to them, knowing the playoff committee. Navy, though, they just did not come out to play. North Texas started this game off up 14-0. Got another 10. 24-10 at half. Navy just fell asleep. They cannot get their offense rolling. You might be wondering, why didn't I say Tulane in that last clip about playoff contender? That's because UTSA upset Tulane on, I guess that was Thursday night. 48-26 final score down in San Antonio. 4-4 UTSA, or I guess 3-4 UTSA, with the hurt on them, and they looked incredible. Owen McCown went 370 yards, and he went 31 for 33 passing. While Jake Retzloff only went 14 for 28. That's just incredible. 370 passing yards, put up 48 against Tulane. Tulane has been mathematically eliminated from the playoff of being that 12 seed in. I don't really see a way how they could make the American Conference game title. Even if they still make it, I don't think they would win it. Gotta give it to UTSA, man. That's a great game by them. I bet they'll make a bowl game now because of that. They'll get that 6 mark. They still have on their schedule. So they're 4-4 now. They still have, at South Florida. That's going to be a tough one. Against Charlotte, that should be win number 5. And then ECU and Army at home, which could be 7 games, Yeah. I don't think they'll win against South Florida next week. But Charlotte's going to be a win against the worst team in the American. And then ECU and Army, those should be free wins, especially at home. And then after you just beat Tulane, you lose to rival North Texas, you beat Rice. Their offense all year has been great, putting up 61 points against Rice. Still 36 against Texas State. Even they played A&M at the beginning of the season, and they put up 20 against a really good A&M team. UTSA has been having a solid year. The record does not show for being 4-4. They look a lot better than 4-4. Let's go back to the SEC for a minute, where it took around 2 seasons for Mississippi State to win a game. They were playing Arkansas this week, and were losing in this game at pretty big. I believe at one point it was 35-14 or something like that. Arkansas was up pretty damn big. And then Mississippi State had a huge fourth quarter, came back and won this game. Arkansas is just having a complete dumpster fire of a year. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. I think everyone knew that was going to happen. At one point it was 35-21, not 35-14. Point stands, 14 points. Everyone thought Taylor Green was going to have a phenomenal year, which he's having a good year. I'll say it. He's having a good year. He's a solid young quarterback. He just does not have any help. Coaching changes don't help anything. Petrino, he's too busy riding the motorcycle. I don't know what he's doing. Not the fit. They're going to need to... I mean, let's just be for real. Arkansas does not care about this season. We knew that. Keeping Sam Pittman another year for them after last year, that was a huge mistake. Obviously, all Arkansas fans that I know wanted him gone after that, but Mississippi State is sitting at 5-4 right now, 1-4 in the ACC. Started the year off 4-0, beating Southern Miss, upset over Arizona State, Alcorn State, Northern Illinois. Lost in overtime to Tennessee. That should have been a win. Could have been a win. Lost pretty good to A&M. Lost to Florida and Texas. Florida, they threw that pick. They had the ball with like a minute left, and they threw the pick at Florida's like 30. They get a field goal, they win. Texas, they were up in that game. Big. They should have beat Texas. And I'm just sitting here thinking, the only for sure loss on this schedule should have been A&M. And what is that? 4, 5, 6, 7. They could be 8-1 right now if it weren't for mistakes late in the fourth quarter. And that's crazy. You know, they got Georgia at home this Saturday on ESPN, going to Missouri, and then end the year off against Ole Miss. That's just wild. It could really be 8-1 right now. And the last 3 games are going to be brutal. I'll give it to them. I'll think they'll win one of these next 3 games. I don't think they'll win at Missouri. I don't think they're going to beat Georgia. I think they'll beat Ole Miss at home. 11 a.m. game on Black Friday. That game's always a great game, too. Maybe it hasn't been like the last year, but Mississippi State always plays great. I think they'll reach that bowl game, but man, they could have been something special this year if they just would have won these games in these close-ass games. Brutal. Georgia-Florida played in the world's largest cocktail party this weekend. Florida had that game won. Dominated up until midway through the fourth quarter. Arguably a missed call by the refs, Ruled the ball incomplete. It was 3rd and 4 at the Florida's 20. Florida had the ball. Heaved it down. Lagway threw it down. Caught it. Bounces off his arms. Guy was laying down. Bounces off his arms. Catches it. Refs review it. Say it was incomplete. Florida takes over. They're on 4th down. They don't do anything. Florida takes over. Just runs the clock out. I don't know. Florida fans were not happy about that. They had that game won. They fall to 3-5 now. I think wasn't the best call I've ever seen. I definitely think it was a catch for Florida. And everyone was saying there's not enough angles, but you can see the ball bounce off of his arms and then hit his chest. There is no way that it hit the ground. His arms were tied enough in where even there's no way it could physically hit the ground. I just got a feel for Florida fans, man. They have just been going through so much. And then on top of that, that's just not... I don't know. I don't think they got the right call there. Georgia's at 7-1. They still look like a great team. Number 5 in the country, and I think that's rightfully so. I don't think this game picks anything. This is still a rivalry game. Still a fantastic rivalry game. Just got to feel for Florida. They're 3-5 now. Good chance probably not going to make a bowl game. They're at Kentucky this week. Could win. At Ole Miss and Tennessee, that was going to be 7 losses. Then ended the year off against Florida State. It's going to be a tough out for them. Really tough for Florida. This year has just been so brutal for them. They deserve some bowl game, but yeah, you're going to have to win 3 of these. Florida State's a win. Kentucky, you can win on the road. And then Tennessee at home. Tennessee's not the greatest. I don't know. I just got a feel for the Gator fans, man. Then SMU knocks off number 10 Miami in overtime. Carson Beck, just genius decision-making for Miami. It just blows me away. He was a Heisman contender earlier in the season, and then just absolutely brutal. 2 picks, and then in overtime, 1 on the goal line. You score that touchdown, good chance you'll win the game. Your defense makes a stop. You got to make 2 stops there, you win the game then. I bet they would have won in overtime, assuming they would have held SMU. But yeah, it's just incredible. Carson Beck, he went 26 for 38, 2 touchdowns, 278 passing yards, while Jennings for SMU went 29 for 44, but had 365 passing yards. The entire game, SMU was down for the most part. Had a nice comeback in the 4th quarter. And then in overtime, like I said, Carson Beck threw a pick. SMU just drives it up to 25, punches it in. They win the game 26-20. Fans rush the field, tear the goalpost down. Miami pretty much eliminated from the playoff unless they win the ACC. Even in that case, I don't know if they will. They're 2-2 right now in the ACC, not looking too hot. I don't think they're going to be playoff bowl. I don't even know if they're going to make the Pop-Tart, which is for the first team out for the ACC. I don't even know if they're going to make that. I would say Virginia or Georgia Tech. Such a disappointing year for Miami. Really the meanest. SMU 6-3 right now, 4-1 in the ACC. Not a bad year for them at all. Then final game we're going to talk about is Oklahoma-Tennessee. Night game down in Knoxville. And I will say, that blackout, whenever Tennessee was running out, stadium went all black and the orange lights came out, that was sick. That was one of the best entrances I've ever seen in football. But they did not look good. Their defense looked terrible. Their offense was awful, throwing a bunch of picks and fumbling a lot. John Mateer also did not look the greatest, but still, Joey Aguilar still passed almost 400 yards, but two interceptions. Brutal. Lost him the game. Mateer, 19 for 29, 159 passing yards. But, Mateer was running a lot. Running quarterback. Still, with his broken hand, he did not look ideal passing the ball. But I guess that's what happens whenever you rush the return. OU wins 33-27. Late comeback by Tennessee, but obviously fell short. Is Oklahoma and Tennessee the real deal? No. I didn't think Tennessee was going to be good regardless. They're 6-3 in the SEC right now, sitting at 3-3. Both teams, still not anything. Oklahoma 7-2 right now. They're at Alabama, Missouri, and LSU. They're going to go 9-3 regular season. Still better than what I thought they would be. I'm not going to lie. I thought they were going to go 6-6. I didn't think Mateer was going to be all that. But 9-3, they're going to lose at Alabama. They'll beat Missouri at home and LSU at home. I don't see playoff for them, though, especially in this day and age. No, a 9-3 team will not get in. You have to go 10-2. If you win out, Oklahoma will be in if they win out. That's for sure. I don't see them winning out. I just don't see it. It's not possible for them. They're not going to win at Alabama. Thanks for watching this week. We're going to be back with more episodes later on this week. Just bowl game predictions, our top 25. Just a lot more stuff coming in, so make sure you subscribe and check it out later on. We'll see you later.